Welcome to another episode of Your Money, Your Mission, the podcast designed to turn complex financial situations into actionable advice, powered by Johnson Financial Group. In today's episode, we're going to dive into strategies and challenges of scaling your business. We're going to give you some insights that can help business owners navigate the complexities of growth very effectively. And with me today is Matt Haas, Senior Vice President, Business Banking Manager with Johnson Financial Group. Matt leads a dedicated team in Wisconsin focusing on building long-term relationships and crafting customized financial solutions for closely held businesses. Matt, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kelly. It's great to be here.
So this is a really wonderful topic. A lot of folks really kind of want to understand some of the nuances of this. And I know that you and your team work with many different kinds of businesses throughout Wisconsin. Can you give me an idea of, in general, for a business to be well-positioned for growth, what are some of the first steps that leaders in businesses should consider?
You know, that's a great question, and each client situation is going to be unique. Each business should have a strong internal team of employees to help drive growth, but they also need to surround themselves around a team of professionals from outside of the organization to help make recommendations that benefit that business's unique needs.
That's really a great point. So can you tell me a little bit about what do you see as really solid internal teams, and then maybe talk about who those external partners might be?
Yeah, that's a great question. For the internal teams, I've noticed that some of the strongest teams bring individuals that have unique backgrounds, yet they share the same values, goals, and missions of that business. And for an external team, typically business owners are bringing together a group of professionals that consist of an accountant, an attorney, and a banker.
So they all support different areas of expertise to help them drive forward?
Absolutely. They make recommendations to help protect and grow your business.
Okay. So when we're thinking about these businesses, how important is it now for a business to have a really solid business plan?
I think it's vital. Every business, no matter what stage that business is in, should have a business plan. And make sure you share that business plan with your partners so that everyone's aligned with your vision and can take steps so that you can take steps to leverage their expertise and reach your goals.
So what are the components that they really need to spend some time as they're developing this plan that they want to make sure that they include and really focus on?
In a business plan, some key components would be, what is your mission? Who are your target clients? And what does your management team and your employee structure look like? But a key component of a business plan should also include financial projections.
So someone starting a business plan, your recommendation would be that they continue to let that plan evolve as the business evolves? Like this isn't a one and done kind of thing?
Yeah, typically we'll see business plans that might project 3 years out. They'll have a 3-year strategic plan, but they revisit that plan annually and make adjustments as needed.
Okay. And so obviously the business plan is a critical piece when they start thinking about some of the financial support they're going to need to grow their business. So can you tell us some of the financing options that businesses need to really explore as they look forward?
There's several common financing options that businesses can take advantage of. There's lines of credit, there's term loans that can be used for equipment and real estate purchases. There's small business administrative or SBA financing options that are available. Sometimes we'll even partner with community development financial institutions, also known as CDFIs, to provide attractive financing options for business owners.
So I'm not all that familiar with that piece. What is that?
Yeah, communities oftentimes have CDFIs that will provide financing typically to business owners that might not otherwise qualify for financing or might need unique loan structures to get a deal to the finish line. So we'll sometimes partner with CDFIs to provide that attractive financing to business owners to acquire, for example, real estate.
Oh, I see. Okay. So is this primarily for new businesses, or is this sometimes open to any business in the community?
New businesses can definitely take advantage of the program, but it's for all businesses.
Okay. All right. So, what makes our approach unique or your approach with your team unique when you're serving one of these business owners?
We don't lead with any particular product or solution. We take the time to really get to know you and your business goals, along with your personal aspirations, to make sure that the solutions that we recommend are aligned with your goals.
So, what do you see some of the challenges are of the businesses that you're working with today? I would imagine over the last several years, those challenges have changed a little bit.
Yeah, oftentimes business owners, they know what they're trying to accomplish, they just don't know how to get there. So we can make recommendations to help them accomplish their goals. So for example, a business owner might know that they want to add a product line to their business and they're seeking financing. They'll come to us and ask for a line of credit. We had a business owner come to us recently. He was looking for a line of credit, and as we started to interview him and better understand what he was trying to accomplish, we learned that he was trying to purchase several pieces of equipment over a 6-month time frame. After he acquired the equipment, it was going to take an additional 4 months for him to get the equipment up and running, installed, and employees trained to use that equipment. So it's going to be nearly a year before that equipment was going to be up and running and generating revenue for that business. We have a better solution than a line of credit in that scenario. We recommended a non-revolving line where he was able to take advantage of interest-only payments on just what he borrowed. So he was able to acquire the pieces of equipment over that 6-month time frame and pay interest only and minimize his debt payments so that he can improve his cash flow before he starts paying P&I payments. So principal and interest payments wouldn't begin until that equipment was up and running and producing revenue for the business.
A perfect example of a unique solution given the problem that you were faced with for that business owner, making it work for them.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And it not only helped sustain their growth, it accelerated it.
That's wonderful. So some of the common pitfalls, especially the financial aspect for business owners, what would you say those are?
There's a number of different pitfalls that business owners should be aware of, like over leveraging, poor cash flow management, or underestimating the costs associated with their growth.
And of those, you mentioned poor cash flow management. Can you explain why maintaining that healthy cash flow is one of the more critical pieces for a growth strategy?
Absolutely. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, and especially when they're in growth mode. And it's not just about having the funds, it's about timing. Money needs to be coming in before it's going out, and that balance is crucial to sustaining operations and being able to take advantage of growth opportunities when they present themselves.
And undercapitalization and overexpansion, that tends to be something, again, that you make sure that they're aware of. Is that right? Would those be?
Yeah, businesses need to be aware of the amount of debt that they're taking out. Okay. And as far as underestimating growth costs, we oftentimes have businesses that get in aggressive growth mode. And the challenges with that, there's expenses that come along with that. And if you're not managing your accounts receivable, your expenses can exceed the amount of revenue that you're bringing in, and you're going to have to make payroll. So you need to make sure that you have cash reserves in place to help support your growth.
And when we look at businesses, we know that markets have changed pretty rapidly. When we look at the last decade, which is amazing, and how much has changed in that short period of time, market research, understanding demand, clients, all of these different kinds of things have become so critical. What are you seeing, and what are you recommending for businesses that need to really take into account the market and their approach to driving their business?
Businesses need to understand who their target audience is and identify new customer segments that align with their product or service offerings. They can conduct market research and a competitive analysis, and there's marketing companies that they can partner with to provide that data and analyze it for them. They should leverage social media and digital marketing. We have business owners that are very interested in how they can leverage artificial intelligence or AI to be able to streamline processes and support their growth.
Yeah, certainly technology is something we hear a lot about. And when we think about innovation and growth phases, you've talked about research and marketing, but cultures are really important today too, aren't they? Especially with the demand on labor. Talk to me a little bit about what you see in terms of the business culture and how important it is for an owner to really develop the kind of culture within their employee framework that they need.
Yeah, the culture is going to breed success. You need to have a strong company culture, make sure it's defined and clear for your employees, and make sure that employees share your vision and your mission. And it's important to have diverse backgrounds in your business, and employees should feel empowered to bring their unique ideas to work and share with the business owners how they might be able to streamline processes or improve their products or services. And business owners really need to embrace that diversity.
Yeah, and diversity is a big thing now, right? It's age diversity, it's cultural diversity, but it's so important, right? Because we're seeing so many different needs, and especially on the part of the consumer, what they really want, what they really need, might turn on, who they are and at what stage of their life they're in.
Those are the strongest teams that I've seen, is the ones that can bring unique perspectives, and that's where growth opportunities might present themselves.
And I know you have said in the past that listening to customers is a critical part of really being in tune with your market and driving success. It sounds like an old-fashioned idea, but it's not, is it?
No, listening to your customer is one of the most important things you can do to help drive growth and avoid potential hurdles that your business might face. You can do that by you can conduct surveys, but what's even better than surveys is talk to your clients, meet face to face, call them. That's how you're really going to understand where there may be opportunities for growth. A business owner that we work with, he frequently is reaching out to his clients. He has very close relationships that he's built over the years that he's been in business. And through his conversation, he found that there was a particular product that's used in the construction industry that was hard to come by. And as he was talking to his other customers, he realized this was a common problem that his customers were facing. And he also uncovered that this particular product could be used in multiple different industries. So by talking to his customers, he was able to take advantage of that opportunity. We financed the piece of equipment he needed to produce that product, and it really accelerated his company's growth by adding that product line.
That's a great story. And you also, when you were talking about creating that culture and building talent within your organization, do you have some tips on how to continue to have your internal employees kind of be ready for the future and going forward? I know that certainly training is important, but are there other things that owners should be thinking about relative to their employees and keeping them ready and motivated and happy?
Yeah. Training and development is really important. You should have a comprehensive onboarding plan to onboard new employees and get them up to speed with company goals, processes, and your culture. I mentioned earlier that employees are some of your greatest assets, so you should be encouraging continuous learning and help employees grow their skills so that they can take on greater responsibilities as your business grows. We should also build a talent pipeline of individuals who align with your company's values and culture. You should look for individuals who have potential to grow as your business grows. You also should leverage referrals from your employees. So you have individuals on your team who share your values and are a good culture fit. You should take advantage of that. Referred candidates often have higher retention and can help you maintain a strong company culture.
Sure. That's great advice. good people probably hang around with some people with the same values and work ethic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked a little bit about technology and marketing and kind of how the business world has changed rapidly. And we know that one of the most significant threats to all businesses today is fraud. It's become different, more sophisticated, more of a worry for everybody. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing, what people should be watching for, and the kinds of things that you recommend for your clients relative to that really serious topic.
I talk to all my customers about protecting themselves against fraud. It's a growing threat, and there's a number of different types of fraud scenarios that could impact a growing business or any business for that matter. A few common examples are cybersecurity threats, supplier and procurement fraud, internal embezzlement. We had a client who called me, it was late on a Friday, and they were devastated. They had uncovered that an employee that worked for them, their office manager, worked for them for over 2 decades. They were responsible for processing payroll, and they were processing payroll for themselves. And they were taking more than what they were entitled to. Mm-hmm. They did this over a number of years, and it was a significant loss for this business. And I'll tell you, when you hear these stories, it's like the business owners are reading from the same script. Mm-hmm. It's always the person that they least expected. Mm-hmm. It's somebody that they considered who is family. Mm-hmm. So you need to protect your business. You need to protect your employees by providing training and putting processes in place to prevent that from happening in the first place. But I'll tell you, check fraud is the most common form of fraud that we're seeing today. And that's interesting because companies are issuing less checks, especially when there's more secure forms of payment, such as ACH. Mm-hmm. But we've noticed a significant increase in check fraud.
And what are you recommending companies do? Just make sure they have processes in place to double check, verify, work with their banker to spot unusual things? That's
part of it. You need to train your employees and implement strong internal controls to take steps to prevent the fraud. Mm-hmm. Educate your employees so they know how to identify fraudulent threats and establish processes to protect your business from both external and internal fraud, such as setting up dual control for certain transactions. Mm-hmm. We had a client who their office manager received an email with an invoice from a company that they work with frequently. And so they went ahead and processed the payment for that invoice. And we later found out that it was a $15,000 fraudulent invoice. Somebody had hacked the email and created a fake invoice, and that money went to a fraudulent account. The business was unable to recover those funds. Mm. So you need to put processes in place to prevent something like that from happening, and do regular audits and monitoring of your account. I recommend to the clients that I work with that they're viewing their accounts online daily. Mm-hmm. Also, understand what tools are available to you to protect your business. You should be having a conversation with your insurance consultant to understand how they can protect you against losses due to fraud. You should talk to your banker. We have tools to help prevent fraudulent checks or ACH transactions before they're processed. So I'd highly recommend business owners to consider those services.
That sounds like really good advice. And to wrap all of this up, business succession is a pretty important thing for a business owner to think about, even at the start, right? Mm-hmm. And is it that external group of advisors you think can help customize that type of a succession plan going forward? The attorneys, the accountants?
It's vital that business owners have that external team of professionals in place to help them as they think about their succession plans. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, that team is critical. And it's also important to business owners because they've put their livelihoods into mm-hmm. these businesses. The business owners that I work with care deeply about their businesses, and they care a lot about the employees that work for them. And they want to make sure that those employees are taken care of even after they're gone. Mm-hmm. So having a succession plan in place is very important.
It's business, but it's personal.
Yes.
Matt, thank you so much. This has been really, really helpful. I so appreciate having you here today.
Thanks, Kelly.
And thank you to our listeners. If you have a question you'd like us to explore, please go to the show notes, type your question, and hit submit. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes of Your Money, Your Mission. We are going to discuss in our next episode fraud, not just business fraud, but the kind of fraud we all need to be on the lookout for. So again, thank you for tuning in. And be sure not to miss any future episodes of Your Money, Your Mission, the podcast designed to turn complex financial situations into actionable advice.
Products and services offered by these Johnson Financial Group companies, Johnson Bank and Johnson Wealth, Inc. Johnson Bank is a member FDIC, equal housing lender. Wealth management services are provided through Johnson Bank and Johnson Wealth, Inc., Johnson Financial Group companies. Additional information about Johnson Wealth, Inc., a registered investment advisor, and its investment advisor representatives is available at advisorinfo.sec.gov. Not FDIC insured, no bank guarantee, may lose value.